Female genital mutilation has led to poor enrollment of girls in many schools, and it's detrimental to girls despite the many efforts by the government and other stakeholders. Many girls have perished in their quest for education, others being forced to drop out of school due to this retrogressive culture. This is Kipkonyo area in Ndabibi location, Nakuru County. It is predominantly inhabited by the Maasai community. Girls' enrollment to school has been very low. This is because they are married off immediately after circumcision.
Since this area, so many parents have not gone to school. So they have not seen any importance of the girl child going to school. So all the chores, domestic issues were left to that girl at home.
In 2014, the school had a population of slightly below 300 pupils. However, this has changed with time after a rescue center for girls was built within the school compound.
We have seen a positive change simply because the enrollment has gone up. We have seen boys and we have seen girls now joining to secondary schools. Unlike the earlier days, they could just do their KCP and then they are taken home for early marriages, for FGMs.
Despite the fact that most of them are in their early teenage years, their experiences will bring tears to the eyes of many who care to listen. This girl managed to run away from home after realizing her parents wanted to subject her to the cut.
Pale nyumbani kulikuwa na rafiki yangu mwingine ambaye alikuwa amekeketwa na wazazi wake. Pia wazazi wangu wakasema ni lazima hata mimi nikeketwe.
She reached out to her guidance and counseling teacher, who later on approached her parents. However, the teacher's plea on her behalf fell on deaf ears. She ended up in this center.
Nimefurahi kwa sababu pia mimi nimejua madhara ya ukeketaji na wasichana wanapokeketwa wengine huwa wanakufa kwa sababu ya kuvunja damu na wengine huwa wanapeanwa haraka hata kabla hawajamaliza shule.
This is a sad reality of many girls in this center who decided to go against tradition and embraced their right to education. This school is a major financier of their stay and livelihoods. The girls who come from this center are arguably role models in this society. They perform well in school and even come back here to encourage their peers who are still in this center.
Hata kuna wasichana hapa wametoka hapa mwaka juzi na mwaka jana wameenda secondary. Na ni ngumu sana wasichana wa hapa walikuwa tu wanafika 7, unasikia ameolewa. Kuna mwingine amefika 8 ameenda, lakini saa hii kuna kadhaa wale walikuwa hapa wako secondary. Nashukuru kwa hiyo.
The center has not only increased enrollment of girls in school, but has also saved many from female genital mutilation, teenage pregnancies, and early marriage. Kipkonyo Rescue Center has definitely epitomized the dire need of girls' education and a sense of empowerment for a community who is slowly coming to terms with the importance of girls' education.
Hello and welcome to our Facebook live discussion. My name is Diana Kendi and we are here from Maela and Naivasha, Nakuru County. And today we're celebrating the Day of the African Child. And to enable us celebrate this day well, we are joined by our beautiful young boys and girls from different schools who are going to share what they understand about children's rights and what the society or how the society engage them as children. To start off our discussion, I'll start from my immediate left. Kindly introduce yourself.
My name is Viola Atieno Odhiambo from Kongoni Primary School in Standard 7.
And maybe if you can tell us what you understand by children's rights.
We as children, we need to have our rights because children's right is important in our lives.
And maybe we can go to your next. Can you introduce yourself and tell us who you are, where you're from, and which school are you in, and what you understand about children's rights?
My name is Mary Nyambura from Kipkonya Primary School. I'm in class 8. I want to tell you about the rights of a child. Is example of the rights are right to education, right to live, right to everything, but not by harassing others. That is the rights of every child to have.
Do you think that people respect children's rights?
Thank you. But I want to tell you that others respect child's rights, but others doesn't respect them.
And maybe we can hear from our young man. Kindly introduce yourself.
I'm Benson Sedimu from Kipkonya Primary School in Standard 8.
And tell us what you understand by children's rights.
What I understand in children's rights is that children are supposed to be given their right fairly. For example, children's rights like education. Many in where I'm coming from, many communities are maybe they don't have money to take their children to school, and that's why the children are being sent always to go for their money.
Kindly hold on, then we hear from our young girl. Maybe kindly introduce yourself and tell us who you are, where you're from.
My name is Anjali. I'm from Gondi Primary School and I'm in class 8. What I would like to say about children's rights is that in where I come from, many of the children do not go to school because their parents leave them with children so that they can go to find money. But in other parents, they give their children light, they go to school, but in others they go farming, and they do not go to school. What they do, they just look at their young one.
And do you have friends who are going to school and have stopped going to school because now they have to take care of their younger siblings?
Yeah.
And what happens to them? What do they say? Do they desire to go to school?
They desire to go to school, but their parents deny them their rights. Their parents say that they have no right to go to school. They must look their young ones.
Tell us, what kind of things that children go through in your area?
In our area, many girls went through FGM. Other parents just sell their children to go and marry. Others get pregnant early.
And which area are we speaking about?
In that area of Maela over there.
So when do you have friends who have been subjected to female genital mutilation, child marriage?
Yes.
What, maybe if you can tell us in brief what happened to them, how they dropped out of school, which classes they were in?
Many people in our school, they have just dropped when they are in class 7. Others when just go through FGM, they feel they are just big, then they left to school and go to marry.
And did they used to have discussions with you to tell you what FGM is and who subjected them to FGM, whether it was forced or they did it willingly?
We usually discuss. They usually say that is their culture and they can't deny their culture.
And what kinds of intervention, on what roles do you play as their friends to ensure that they remain in school and they don't go to be subjected to female genital mutilation and early marriage?
We usually give them advice, but others usually argue, but others usually wanaitikia.
And as a fellow child, what do you feel, or how do you feel when you hear that my friend has left school because she is going to be married or to be subjected to female genital mutilation?
I actually feel bad because even me, I am just a girl. I don't know where my life will end up.
And maybe a young boy can tell us what other issues do young boys face which violates their rights.
One thing that I will talk about boys, maybe they are the one who makes girls drop out of school, and by making them pregnant. But because even me, I'm a boy, I'm among them, but in our school they usually respect me as their leader, and I'm the one who usually encourage them about the importance of being in school, because one day, one time, even I will be like you, and because others they usually see it as if it is a job, I leave them like that, and goes with those one who usually listen to what the speaker is saying.
Do you think our parents respect the right of children?
Yes, I think, but not all parents. Because if you look, as for example, here in Kongoni, some parents, their children are going to school and they have their rights, but some, their children don't have. Because if I look at, as for example, boys, here in Kongoni, many boys have not to go to school because they usually use drugs. They drop out of school, but I don't know whether the problem is for their parents or they just like to.
And what do you think the society should do to ensure that our children are not taking drugs and they're in school?
Maybe if their parents provide for them education and each and every child have his right.
Tell us, maybe you're talking about education, children have the right to education, and some of the children maybe they don't see the importance of education. Tell us, why do we need to go to school? Why do you need to get an education?
We need to go to school so that we can get better life and so that we can educate others the goodness of education. And when you grow up, you can get a very good job and you can assist your siblings and your friends.
And do you think our parents who instead of taking their children to school, they leave them with their young ones to take care of, do you think they understand what the importance of education?
No, they do not understand, because some of them, they left school at class 4 and they do not understand how children should run and how their rights are. They do not understand.
And from your own view, what can we do to ensure that our children are in school?
We should ensure that children go to school by encouraging them and telling our government to give us free education and to ensure every child has go to school.
But the education currently is already free. What else can the government do?
They arrest children who are loitering at the center so that they can ensure they go to school.
Do you think those children who don't go to school, they just decided, let me not go to school? Do you think it is their fault?
No. Others are usually like my friend here had said, those people usually use drug. They are just being drug abusers. Others, they learn when they just close to school. Like now, many schools are just going for a midterm. When they go there at home, they usually meet with their friends who have just finished the school. Others, they denied the education just but they learn how to use the drugs. And that is not why children usually see watoto ndo wanakataa masomo. It's usually parents. Like for example, my parents come at home were is just drunk, is just a drug abuser. Even me, I learn from my parents, because a leader, followers learn from a leader. You see that? Then I can just follow steps of my parents.
And what role do you think parents should play in ensuring that their children are acquiring an education, they're going to school?
Parents should give their children advice about the education, the fruits of education. Even when I told the roots of education is better than fruits. Fruits are sweeter than the roots.
You spoke about child marriage, teenage pregnancy, and FGM. Are we taught about these things in school by our teachers?
Yes, like in grade counseling.
Like?
in guidance counseling.
In guiding counseling. And what kind of trainings or lessons do our teachers take us through to understand what FGM is, to understand what child marriage is, and to understand what teenage pregnancy and how we can avoid all these things?
They usually call like girls along, with female teachers call girls, then male teachers call boys. Then they just start listening us about the effects of FGM, effects of pregnancy, dropping out of school, early marriage, like that.
From your understanding and from the teachings that your teacher has taught you about FGM, what are the effects?
Effects are when you, like, I have HIV and my friend here doesn't have an HIV. When then we'll go to FGM, the Elizabeth that I will be used, maybe I'm the first one, then my friend use it. We'll just be all with HIV virus.
Maybe if you can give the microphone to him. Do you know what FGM is? Have you ever heard of FGM?
Yes, I have heard. For example, in our area, many girls are being circumcised, and we have the effects of being circumcised because the government it is prohibited in our county. So because our parents they are not learned people, they cannot understand about that. They usually do when a girl's grown up, because for example, she needs to be married. In our culture, we don't marry a woman who is not being circumcised. So that is their culture. So that is not, they cannot deny their rights.
And do you support what your culture says about FGM as a young boy?
No, I cannot support them because I'm not because even we are different with them, because I and my parents, we are different because I'm a learned, and then I'm the one who is supposed to tell them about the importance of and the effects of being circumcised. Yes.
And as a young boy, what role can you play to ensure that our girls are not subjected to female genital mutilation? Because they fear if they don't get cut or they don't get circumcised, you're not going to marry them.
On me, because I'm under my parents. So what I will tell them is just to advise them and give them some important things, maybe so that they can stop that.
Have you ever heard of child sexual violence?
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
In our place, many people they just teach children about these things. At night, they go at the clubs.
The children?
Yeah. But the parents do not want them. They just let them to go.
Who influences them to go to clubs if they are children? Who gives them permission?
When their parents are not there, they just disappear because they know their parents are not there.
And what do you think is the effect of a child engaging in sexual activities as a child when she's still in school? And yeah,
you just get HIV and early pregnancy.
And what do you think can be done to ensure that these children are not engaging in such kind of acts?
Their parents should be seriously looking on them and advise them the dangerous and this dangerous disease called HIV.
As a young girl, what do you think can be done to ensure that our children are not subjected to child marriage, they don't get pregnant early, and they don't get to be subjected to FGM?
I would advise them and tell their parents to advise them about these things, and themselves to respect their bodies and look themselves for themselves.
Do you get, if I can ask you, maybe we can start with her, do you discuss with your parents about your rights as a child, your right to education, your right to health, and what do they say?
Yes, we discuss. When I ask my parents about my rights, he always advise me and tell me more about our rights and how we can use our rights.
Where did you learn that you as a child have the right to education and right to health? Who taught you about this?
When my parents took me to school, I was there, but our teacher taught us more about our rights. We were told as children, you have right to education, you have right to eat, you have right to live, you have right to medical attention, and you have right to require all basic needs. Yes.
And what do you think is the role of the government to ensure that the children's rights are protected?
Government should make sure that we as children, we have our rights. That's why in Kenya we have Ministry for Education like Amina Mohammed, so that he ensure us we get our learning requirements move smoothly and all child has got his or her right.
If you can tell us, what other challenges do you as children face in the society, in school and in whichever place?
Many challenges that you usually get is like a parent doesn't care of you, and a parent when he will just give you a chance of going to school. Even in committees, a parent can't come, and a parent usually say that my child is in school, but he doesn't care. He doesn't care how the child is performing, what number is the child. Even she doesn't look at the books of children.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think should be done?
A parent must be responsible to their child by looking their books, go to school for that committee and that mikutano zenyewe wanaitwa yani. They look for the report book after closing the schools.
What can the government do to ensure that your rights are protected?
The best protection from the government is to use our teachers, and after using our teacher, the teacher will advise us, and then we take it that to our parents.
Thank you so much for expressing yourselves and what you think the government and the parents should do to ensure that your rights as children are protected. And thank you so much, our viewers. You've heard from our young children what they are saying in terms of what the parents do, the role of the government, the role of the teachers, and the ball clearly is on our side to ensure that our children are not subjected to harmful cultural practices, or their rights are not violated in any manner, and instead to ensure that they have safe environment to grow up in. Thank you so much once again for joining us in this Facebook Live, and have a great day ahead.